Hello, you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I feel like today's the first time when I'm actually fully back on schedule, fully back on schedule with the new equipment, fully filming new videos. I'm really, really excited about this. What I'm not excited about is how I have been completely engulfed in the news over the last few days, like a lot of people have been, and I've been really struggling to find new topics to talk to you about. I have plenty of topics in my mind and like scheduled and planned, but I didn't really know what would be even appropriate to talk to you about currently. And I felt like, as much as it is important to stay informed, and I think we should be informed, but it's also really important to take care of our sanity and do self-preservation practices and self-care practices, all everything that I'm preaching on this channel at all times. Be extremely mindful and be really, really self-loving and caring is, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So, despite everything happening right now, I have still decided to talk to you about some of the books that I was reading in the month of January, some of the movies that I've seen, and most importantly, I guess, is what I'm planning to read and to watch, because I happened to buy a few books a few days ago, which was completely unplanned, and that's kind of naughty of me because I'm not buying books anymore. I have sworn off that for a while because I have so many. I do not have any more space on my shelves. I simply do not. Any and all books that I'm currently reading are going into piles on the floor. So, yeah, I'm really focusing on reading the books that I have. I have an ever-growing book wish list, but I'm not buying books anymore. I'm reading them first. However, I still bought 3 books, and they are thin, if I can use that as an excuse. Not that that matters much, but I would like to talk to you about that and some of the films that I'm really excited for. So let's just talk about that and take our minds off of things, at least for a little while, because I still believe that it's really important to do for the sake of our mental health. So let's get started. Let me first of all talk to you about some of the books that I read in the month of January. I was reading a lot of manga, I'm not gonna lie to you, so that is something that I was really, really, really interested in and still am, of course. I've been reading every single day. Should I say I was reading every single day. And I read a little bit over 2 books. The third book I'm going to finish in February. I should finish in February, I should say. So I'm not going to talk about it quite yet, but there are 2 other books that were absolutely brilliant and incredible, and I was really, really excited to have 2 incredible books in a row. So yeah, the first book is called Misinterpretation, and I'm really scared of butchering the names of the authors. They're both foreign authors, but I'll do my best. Her name is Ladia Joga, as far as I know. That's the correct pronunciation. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Is an Albanian author, and this book was nominated for the Booker Prize in 2025. It did not win, as far as I know, but this was a phenomenal read. Let me tell you something. I started this book on January 1st, and I was immediately completely pulled into this story. One of the most beautiful things about this book is the writing style. I'm a huge fan of beautiful writing style. That is one of the reasons that Donna Tartt is one of my most favorite authors, obviously beyond the incredible storytelling and just the massive talent of the author. I really, really appreciate the writing style. And this author right here has got it, which is why she got the Booker Prize nomination. Of course, completely, completely deserved, I have to say. This book is a little bit. I felt all kinds of emotions reading this book. I'll be honest. I felt a little bit anxious at times. I felt a little frustrated, or more like a lot, and mostly dipped into like sad and a little bit depressing feelings. However, this book is really stunning. The storytelling is incredible. The main character in this book is an Albanian interpreter who lives and works in New York City with her husband. And she has a new client to work with who is an Albanian torture survivor. And that's pretty much all I knew about this book going into the story. And I was, I guess, a little bit surprised to find out that this is not even the main storyline that is happening all throughout the book. The story is called Misinterpretation. There are multiple different storylines happening at the same time. All of them are revolving around the main character. I do not want to spoil anything at all. The book is talking about her relationship with her husband. It's talking about her relationship with her client. It's talking about her relationship with her mother. And with multiple people that she works with that she desperately wants to help and to save them. She really gets involved in her clients' worlds and lives, and that is causing some tension between her and her husband. And she does get into a little bit or a lot into trouble. So this book definitely kept me on my toes. I could not put this down, and it has, I will keep saying this, incredible writing style. At this point, I will read pretty much everything that this author will write. Also, I absolutely love this cover. It's absolutely stunning. I love this edition. I've seen some other ones. This one is from DB Originals, and I'm absolutely in love with it. I strongly recommend this book. Please check it out. It's incredible. I was looking for it recently in a bookshop because I wanted to give it to my mother, and it was not in the bookshop. So please check it out in your local bookshops and let me know if they have it there, because I have been trying to find people talking about this book, and as far as I understand, it has not been terribly popular, which I don't understand the reasoning for. There's so many books on the market, of course, and I would assume that there will be a lot more press and a lot more buzz around, like, I don't know, like the Booker Prize nominees. I'm really unpleasantly surprised, I have to say. This book deserves a lot more attention, so please go check it out. Please read it and let me know what you think about it. I loved it. Next book on the list is another one that I really, really loved. It's completely different story. It's also a translation from Korean. I really do not want to once again mispronounce the name of the author. So please forgive me if I just put a picture of the book on the screen, because I do not want to say anything incorrectly. The name of the book is The Midnight Shift, and this is a completely different story. This book is a fantasy. It is about vampires, and it is a detective. One of the main characters, well, the main character of the story is a detective. Multiple chapters are also written from the point of view of a woman she meets on a case. And that woman knows a thing or two, or quite a lot, about vampires who are involved in a mysterious murder case. So is it a murder? What is it? We don't really know what's going on. But older patients from a hospital in Korea are starting to commit suicides en masse. And a local detective is concerned and suspicious that something sketchy is going on. That is how she meets a mysterious woman who seems to know a lot about vampires, who is trying to tell the detective about what is really going on and trying to figure it out together. The detective, of course, doesn't believe her because it sounds insane. And once again, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. The story is pretty fascinating. We have some chapters written from perspective of a nurse who works in this hospital, lots of chapters from the perspective of the mysterious woman called Violet, and I really loved her I'm not usually a fan of different POVs. I'm not gonna lie to you. I usually kind of don't like that. But in this case, I did really like this. And the story of Violet specifically, it is about her childhood and how she meets this vampire girl in her teens. And that storyline, I absolutely love that story because it strongly reminded me of Carmilla, which is one of the books that I read in the month of December in 2025, and it was one of my favorites of the year. And I absolutely love this, absolutely recommend it to everybody. It's a story that predates Dracula, and it is absolutely incredible. This story reminded me a lot of Carmilla, and I think that I feel like the sapphic element was like dialed up a little bit more, not too much, but quite a bit more. That is something that Carmilla was sold to us as, I believe. I loved both Carmilla and this storyline as well. Don't really want to compare them, but they are really quite similar in some ways. I just really got the same vibe, and I really, really loved it. This story is, once again, kind of a little bit depressing, and it made me feel more sad feelings. This book did not make me feel anxious, however, and that I'm very grateful for because the month of January was really, really long, very long, weirdly eventful, not always in a bad way, sometimes in really great ways, actually, for me personally, but misinterpretation made me feel quite anxious sometimes. So this book did not. The Midnight Shift wasn't particularly fun, I want to say. That's on the right thing. It was not a happy book, I want to say, but it was a really beautiful, interesting read nonetheless. So if you're interested in a fantasy detective that is about vampires as well, and the whole story, it reads. I'm not usually a contemporary fantasy romance reader. If you've seen some of my other videos, I have talked about kind of getting into romantasy and having really complicated feelings about this because I loved some books and I'm still interested in the genre overall, but some of the other books that I read were just absolutely horrible and not even good at all. So this one I do recommend. It's really great. And then once again, I'm really interested in reading authors from different countries, from different cultures. Absolutely love that. Fascinating. I do recommend it to check it out. And it's also a really gorgeous cover. I am absolutely obsessed with this cover. It's also like feels really nice to the touch, just like Misinterpretation. Now let's talk about some of the movies that I've seen in January. Okay, so I haven't seen that many movies, but I have seen a few, I guess. I have watched the movie Bottoms, which was surprisingly fun. I did enjoy it. I also watched Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Have nothing to say about it because I did not like it at all. It was not a good movie. I didn't like it. I also watched Sean Baker's Tangerine because I have been thinking about rewatching Anora once again, and it's something that I really want to do in February. And I genuinely have been wanting to watch Sean Baker's other films because lots of people have been talking about how his other films are actually much better than Anora. And I did like Anora a lot, so I'm really interested. So I watched Tangerine and I really, really liked it. I kind of have no notes, to be honest. It's a little bit all over the place and it makes you feel a whole range of emotions. Yeah, I do recommend you watch this film. I think one of the most kind of interesting things that are being talked about regarding this film is that it was shot completely on iPhone. Personally, I don't particularly care about that, even though it's a very interesting fact. The movie is incredibly coherent and the storytelling is done really well, which is really impressive because sometimes you watch modern movies and read contemporary books and they are so incredibly incoherent that it drives me a little bit crazy. This movie is done really, really well. It kept me incredibly engaged throughout the whole film. I had no idea what was going to happen at the end. And I feel like I might be a Sean Baker's fan now. Don't like the word fan, but I'm definitely interested in his works, and I want to see his other films. And I do want to rewatch Anora. I don't know why. Just kind of in the mood. It's probably the winter. Another film that I watched in January is Mona Lisa's Smile with Julia Roberts. And this is maybe a little bit random, but I have been seeing different clips of this movie like on Instagram occasionally, and I've always like stopped to see those clips, and I finally actually sat down and watched the movie. This happened during the time when I was actively experimenting with reducing my screen time, I made a whole video about that. Go check it out. It's on the channel already. And I talk about how I started watching more films, and that is true. I did indeed start watching more movies. This is one of the best films I've seen probably ever. It's really, really beautiful and inspirational. One of the things that I really loved about this movie, one of my most favorite things about this film, I have to say, beyond incredible casting, absolutely incredible actors, incredible costumes, the setting, the storytelling, the storyline, everything is absolutely perfection. I really missed a feminist movie about women breaking a glass ceiling in whatever shape or form, breaking any and all societal norms and moving forward, making some kind of progress for themselves personally and for all the women around them. I watched a lot of films like this when I was younger, and they always incredibly inspired me and had such a big impact on me and on my life overall. And I know that I see results of that even now to this day. And I feel like I haven't seen a really, really good movie with a really beautiful, well, there's no other way but like feminist, really, like a good feminist messaging that I think I really missed. And especially in today's day and age, I feel like it's really missing. And I strongly recommend you watch The Mona Lisa Smile. It's a stunning film, and it has incredible acting, and it impressed me very, very deeply. A couple of words about the actual film, because I haven't said a word about what it's about. Julia Roberts plays a role of a college teacher, of a college lecturer, who comes to one of the most conservative colleges in the United States, and she teaches young women the history of art. Now, these women are all beautiful, brilliant, incredibly well read, always very well prepared for the lectures. However, what they're lacking is critical thinking and critical thinking skills. They are reading, they know all the answers because they read them in the books and in the articles. They're very well prepared, like I said. However, they cannot form an independent thought. And I really love the fact that in the story, the character of Julia Roberts encourages her students, who are, once again, some of the most brilliant women in the country, to actually think independently rather than just quote the books and the great people and say whatever the hell was said before and what is the right thing to say, quote unquote. As someone who was a student for many, many years, I have to say that I really appreciated that, because one of the most frustrating things for me when I was a student was always the fact that you could only very rarely form a completely independent thought. You had to quote absolutely anything and everything. However, I also have to say that I did not do pure humanities ever. I did do humanities for my bachelor's, but for my master's degrees, I was doing like brain sciences. So did not study literature, did not study history, did not study history of art or art at all, even though I am very interested in it and I love it, but I don't have experience with like writing papers on those kind of topics. So if you studied humanities, if you studied arts, if you studied literature, history, please, well, maybe not history so much, but like specifically arts and literature, I'm guessing, right? Were you allowed to give fully your opinion without quoting anyone else in your papers? I'm really interested in that, because for sciences, obviously, I understand that you can't really always do that. You have to quote people who did extensive research and stuff like that. But sometimes it was really frustrating when I had my own thought that I really wanted to put in there, and that is tricky to do a lot of the times, or at least in the past, that's how it was. So please let me know about your experience. I'm genuinely very, very interested. Okay, now let me go to the watch list on my Letterboxd, because I save so many films. I should actually watch them. That list is only ever getting longer. It's giving me a bit of an anxiety, I'm not gonna lie. So let's start maybe with the books. You know what? Let's start with the books. Here are some of the books that I bought very recently, and I'm really excited about them. Again, I walked into the bookshop intending fully not to buy anything. I thought that I could keep that promise to myself. I did not. And honestly, whatever. I'm really glad about that because these books kind of bring me joy. I've been looking at them lately. And they are already small, so hopefully I can read them quickly and soon. But we'll see about that because I'm what people nowadays call a mood reader. I do not form TBR lists for every month or even for a year or for like a quarter of a year. I do not do that. I read whatever I want to read in the moment. So the first book that I picked up was Madonna in a Fur Coat by Sabahattin Ali. I'm really hoping I'm not butchering this name once again. I'm really sorry if I am. Please let me know how to say it correctly in the comments. I'm sorry. But I have been seeing so much of this book on Instagram and in all kinds of like aesthetic settings. And I've been really interested in reading this because I can't tell you why, honestly. It's just like I feel a pull towards it and I have a good feeling about it. I have a feeling I'm going to feel really moody and maybe a little bit nostalgic and maybe a little bit romantic reading this. Who knows? But that's just the vibe that I'm getting. I'm really excited about this book. Like I said, it's also really short. Another book that I picked up is the one that has been on my wish list for a really long time. It's Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five, and this is one of my favorite covers of this book in the world. I've seen a few. I don't know how many are there, to be honest with you, but I've seen a few. And this one is by far my favorite. I absolutely love it. I have this book in a different cover. This is something that made me feel like a little bit guilty because I already have it, but I just really don't like the cover that arrived because I ordered a different one. I ordered this one originally, but I got the one I don't like. So I just looked at this book and that book looked right at me and we were just looking at each other and I just like, well, you gotta come with me, I guess, because I can't let you stay here. I had to have it, so I picked it up and now it's mine. So there we go. A third book that I picked up was this Japanese murder mystery. Is that a detective? Is that a mystery? Is that a thriller? It's a mystery. Okay, so it is a mystery by a Japanese author. Okay, I found the author. The author is Seishi Yokomizo, and this book is called Murder at the Black Cat Cafe. I can't say that I'm a big fan of detective stories or mysteries. I read them really quite rarely, but I don't really mind. I've read some really good detectives before, so I'm interested. Plus, I saw this cover, this gorgeous hardback. It's like a vintage looking hardback, and there's nothing that I could do. We just had an eye contact again, like with the previous book, and I just had to have it. I'm really, really excited about this book, and I'm excited to have it in my collection. Even if I don't like it, it looks stunning. So it's just a joy to look at. But I really hope that I will actually love it. So I'm really excited. Now, let's talk about the films because I did not get to watch as many movies as I expected in January, but I'm really excited for the new films. That's what I want to see. I want to see Marty Supreme because I'm just tired of seeing all of the trailers and all the clips and bits and all of the award show clips and such. I'm excited for this movie. I have a feeling that I will like it. I have no idea if I will. I'll tell you. I'll report once I have seen it. Another one that I really want to watch is actually Wuthering Heights. And that's another book that I'm excited to read soon. I have to say that I have never read Wuthering Heights. I'm really excited about it. I purchased the book pretty much as soon as I saw the first trailer or like the first bits of information about the movie coming out in February, on February 14th of this year, 2026. So I know that there's been a lot of dispute about casting, and I completely understand that, and I do support those claims. I do think that the casting is definitely not really good, even though I am a fan of both Margot and Jacob Elordi. I think they're both phenomenal actors. Love them both very much. But I understand that's not good casting. I fully understand that. However, I'm still intending to watch this film. I'm going to watch it with an open mind and just try to see it as a different artsy version of the story. So, there's so many things happening in the world. I cannot possibly take something like this too seriously. However, it's still important. It's still important. Yeah, good casting is really, really important. So, yes, I understand that. And I do completely agree with that and support that. There's definitely lots of questions about the costumes. But again, like I said, I want to look at it as an artsy version because I don't fortunately I do not have any impact on this film. Unfortunately, it's already been done and no one asked me. So yeah, still really excited about it. I'm also really excited about the drama with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. It's coming out in April. I love both of these actors, and I'm expecting to have a good time. It's going to be a fun movie, as far as I understand. It's going to be, is it a thriller? I'm not really sure, but I'm really excited. I'm excited about the fact that there are quite a few exciting movies coming out this year. There's the Odyssey, there is also Dune Part 3, and it's really rare that in the beginning of the year I can name more than like one movie that I'm excited to watch that I know is coming out soon. So I am kind of thrilled and really just feeling really grateful that there are like fun things to look forward to. So, yeah, I'm just really excited. Like I said before, I want to watch Sean Baker's other films, specifically his Florida Project. Is that movie called Florida Project? Let me just check real quick. Yes, it is indeed called The Florida Project. I've heard lots and lots of really good things about this film, so I'm going to check it out sometime soon and report back to you. Okay, so other than that, I cannot currently think of anything else specific that I'm excited for. I've also been talking for quite a while, and I want to make this video too long. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching this video. I really appreciate that. Please let me know in the comments which movies and books you're excited for. What did you read lately that you really, really loved? Or maybe you didn't love it so much. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments anyways. Let me know your thoughts on the books and movies that I mentioned in this video. Have you read any of the books that I mentioned in this video? If you did, please let me know what you think about them, because I would really like to know. Same goes to the movies as well. So anyways, once again, thank you very much, you guys. Please like this video. Please share it with your loved ones. Please subscribe to my channel because it will help me a lot. Please do that. It would mean a lot to me. It's actually really important. I'm trying to grow this channel. So thank you very much. I will see you in the next one.